Hello, we are live. Welcome to my loaf. My name is Frank Kramer. I'm your host today, and I'm the founder of My Loaf, where you can get gluten-free bread mixes that are easy to bake, easy to assemble. Today, I'm going to show you my four-step method that anyone can do to make gluten-free bread. So, um, to get started, we take one of my mixtures, which is called Love You Like Crazy. This is a buckwheat mix, so to speak. It's also millet, tapioca, sorghum, buckwheat. Um, we don't use gums. We don't use any artificial ingredients. It's all natural, organic, gluten-free. Okay, so before I even start, I wanted to mention that I have reduced my prices because I obtained a better wholesale pricing for my flowers. So I invite you to take a look at my website, ohmylove.com, and see. We don't have more products yet. We will, but for the moment, we have reduced the pricing because I wanted to extend my savings to you. Okay, so that said, let's start with our mixture. It is now really affordable, and I want you not to miss out when you start your gluten-free bread. Um, that said, we let's go ahead. I wanted to show you something, but we can do this a little later. Now this thing is not opening up. Cool. Okay, so you just empty out the mix into a bowl, and as promised, it's a four-step method. You pour the ingredients in here in a bowl. You quickly give it a little stir. So mix up all the ingredients. Make sure that the yeast and the salt and everything else is properly mixed in here. Then we're using 500 grams of water. We use a tablespoon of oil and a teaspoon of vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is perfect. I'm going to put it all in here. And obviously the oil and the vinegar are optional, but in my opinion, they make the bread taste much better. Okay, so we're pouring the water all at once into the mixture. And we begin stirring. So in the beginning, it looks a little soupy. I don't know if you can see this. It's difficult to see. So just keep mixing. I know it's going to look a little awkward in the beginning, but stay with me here. The psyllium husk and all the fibers in here are actually absorbing the water, making the dough look much more natural in the end. Right now it looks a little soupy. That's completely normal. That said, gluten-free mixes are never really like a real wheat dough. Okay, so now you can tell everything is coming together. You see, now it's coming together, and just keep working the dough. You want to make sure that all the ingredients are properly mixed up. And you don't have to overwork yourself. Just make sure that everything is properly mixed up. No need to mix the dough for endless time. Just put it together. And as I said before, there is no kneading involved. You can, if you like, if that makes you happy. But as you can see, that's your dough. Took just a few minutes. And what I want you to do is just make it a little circle, so to speak. Okay, that's all. You could literally bake it like this. Put it on a tray and bake it. But obviously, there's different kind of techniques or ways you can bake the bread. And for instance, we're going to use our Pullman pan. So now we want to make sure it fits into the Pullman pan. We just fold it over, make a little crease in here, and then roll it. Okay, that's it. That's all you need to do. That's it. And you want to make sure that this little crease is on the bottom of your bread. Okay, so now this is ready now. I have a little trick here what I wanted to show you. I have a parchment paper where I cut out the corners. You see here, I cut into from here to here and all the corner. I removed it, and now I can put the parchment paper flush right in here. Okay, with little effort, it stays just like that. No oil, nothing we need to do to grease the form, the baking form. So now we put in the dough, and we want to make it a little nice. I will find it. Okay, so you just want to make sure it looks even, and that's it. Okay, so very simple. So what we do now is we want to make sure that this is a yeast dough, that you want to let it rest for about 40 to 50 minutes about. In this case, I'm going to add my cover on it, and I'm going to keep it at a warm place. So that's very important. No hotter than 98 or 100 degrees, but 96 degrees, 98 is perfect. You could turn on your oven for just a minute, turn it off, check the temperature with a little thermometer like this one here. Just put it in the oven, and it shouldn't be more than 100. 102 is really maximum. You put this into the oven and let it rest. So that's it. The dough should rise about almost double, and you want to make sure that you don't overproof your dough. So that's very important. So don't let it rest too long. If you think, oh, I'm going to let it rise really, really high, that is not in your favor, because the dough could collapse later on. So it's very important that you want to let it rise almost double, but no more than that. Usually, it takes about 45 minutes in most cases. If you are in a colder environment, it needs a little longer. If you leave it in the fridge, it's probably going to take hours or not at all. So put this here. So this is basically the pour, mix, and rest period. So the next one is basically you're proving this. Once it's proved, you put it in the oven. So the oven should be set at 425. You would do this ideally now, if you don't prove it in here, and set it to 425. The middle rug is fine. If you don't have a baking pan like this, you can use just an open one. It's always ideal to have one with a high wall, because gluten-free doughs need high walls, so that they are supported when they grow up, when they rise. If you have a half form, it may collapses, grows out of the form and may look like a mushroom. And then when you bake it, it's going to collapse later. It could happen, it doesn't have to. But I prefer to use these kind of baking pans. You can also just use this shape and put it on a tray, baking tray, fill it with a parchment paper. Once the dough is almost risen, you just slice it, any way you like it. You can slice it like 3 times, just a 1/4 inch into the dough, so that you have, it's nice for designs. It's also nice that the dough can breathe. So some excessive air could expand through those little cuts. Okay. Some people don't put any cuts at all, so the bread sometimes looks cracked. That's fine. It looks artisanal. There's nothing wrong with that. So we leave this, let it rest. In about 45 minutes, what we're going to do is, with this pan, we don't need steam, because steam is going to be accumulated because there's a cover on it. That means we don't need any additional steam. Steam makes the bread browner, makes it look much better, like a tan, like a suntan. It also makes the crust much crustier. So it's a wonderful thing if you have steam. No worries if you don't have this pan. You can use a baking pan and put a few ice cubes in just before you bake your bread, and leave it in there for about 25-30 minutes. Then you remove the ice and continue baking the bread for a total time of about 70 minutes. Okay, so something just came up on my screen here. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to, if anyone has any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. It's also nice if you say hello, where you're from. It's always nice to see who's there and where they're from. Okay, so in my last live stream, someone asked, "Can you slice your bread?" And I understand this question because, very often people ask me, "Why is your bread different than all the other breads that fall apart, that taste gummy, or don't hold together?" So I want to do this. I have here, this is the seed of the moment, a little bit left over. What I have, I eat these breads every day. I just want to give you an idea how they slice. I use this slicer here. You can certainly use a hand slicer, that's fine. I like this here, it gives you very even slices. Okay, so this is how they look. And they're completely solid, they don't fall apart. And it comes out of the bag, water, a little bit of oil, a little bit of apple cider vinegar. That's what it takes. We have been researching our doughs for the last 2 years. It took some time, but now we have perfected them, and that's the outcome. This is a rise and grind, which is not offered yet, but it's in the works. It is very similar to Loaf Like Crazy. So same here, bread is solid, doesn't fall apart. It's really a pleasure to have these. And the reason why I developed these mixes is because I've spoken to so many people who want to live gluten-free and cannot find the right bread. That's why I developed these type of mixes. First of all, I couldn't find them. I didn't find any bread that I liked, so I created my own. And so now they offered. I'm very happy to announce that we also have created a new design. This design is no longer on my bags. We have a new one. Check it out at ohmyloaf.com. And yeah, so let's talk about the loaf here again. If you get adventurous and you think, wait, what can I do to make it more interesting? You can do so many things to them. For instance, if you have a little bit of flax seeds, for instance, you can roll this same dough. Once you finish mixing it, just roll it into the flax seeds, for instance, and it has a very nice design. Later, when you slice 3 cuts in it, it looks even better. You can also use sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, whatever you like, you can use to dress this up. You can also put seeds inside the dough, not too many, but I would say like 20 or 30 grams, and make it your dough, make it your bread, the way you enjoy your breakfast. So there are many ways you can dress these up or make the bread your way. Okay, so one more trick. Once you put it in the oven, for the first 30 minutes, we leave it with steam or the cover on. Then, after 30 minutes, we take off the cover and keep it in the oven and finish baking it for the remainder of the time. It's usually 30 minutes plus another 50 minutes, usually. Seed of the moment bakes a little bit longer, but it's also mentioned on the instructions. Seed of the moment bakes longer because this is yeast free. This was loafing like crazy. This is a yeast dough, and obviously it needs proofing, and it takes about 45 minutes to do this. Good. One more trick. You can tell that my forms are all marked. So I have a number 1 here, and all my forms are marked with numbers. So when I bake, I have a scale right there before I even bake. So I put the entire form, including the loaf, on my scale. I take a little picture of how much gram it is. Otherwise, I forget it. You can also write it down. That's fine. Once you bake it for about 65, 70 minutes, take a mitten or something, a towel, take it out of the oven, and weigh the same bread again, and it will have lost some weight. So ideally, you want to lose about 10 to 15%. 12 is the sweet spot. Some breads take a little longer to lose their moisture, and other breads, like the yeast doughs, very quickly lose their moisture. So you gotta be very careful. You want to make sure that you don't lose more than 15%. Otherwise, it may go dry. But between 10 and 15% is the sweet spot. That is a secret that I have learned from one of the chefs I have met in my career, and that has served me ever since. So I'm giving you my little secret, which is absolutely priceless. You will never, ever have gummy breads. You will never have unfinished or unbaked breads, because knowing your weight of the dough after you baked it is the secret of making the perfect loaf. Okay, good. So that's obviously, I'm not going to bake this now, but I want to show you how that loaf would look like. You bake it, and it's going to come out something like this. It's about short of 800 grams, almost 2 pounds, and um, so actually, yeah, it's about 800 grams, and yeah, so you are basically in charge. If you want to make a little decoration on it or whatever, meaning some seeds, some grains, you can even add nuts to it. That is fine too, whatever you enjoy. Okay, good. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the in the chat, and I will answer them. If I don't answer them live, I will come back and answer them once I see that you post a comment. Okay. Again, for those who just joined us, I have updated my website. The pricing has been reduced because I have received better wholesale pricing, and I'm giving you my savings. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Follow my channels. That would be much appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you throughout the week. Okay, so someone has a question here. I just finished donating some blood, so I probably won't be around for the stream, but great to see you. Hi, how are you? Nice, very nice. Thank you for saying hello. Okay, good. So I don't see any more questions right now, but again, if you have any, feel free to put them in the post, and I will answer them as I see it. Okay? Have a great day, and see you next time.